Super Smash Bros. Is a massive crossover fighting franchise, taking characters from Nintendo games as well as a couple of non-Nintendo games to create some of the most popular platform fighters out there. Currently, the most recent Smash game is Smash Ultimate, and it's easily the biggest game in the franchise, having a total of 82 characters for you to choose from. Now, it's due to the large amount of variety in the game's character roster, as well as its fighting gameplay, that I got to thinking a very stupid question. How many Smash characters can beat a gorilla? I'm sure you've seen that 100 men vs 1 gorilla thing that's been going around the internet recently, and if you haven't, then that probably means that you're watching this video a week after I posted it, when the meme will inevitably be forgotten about. Look, I usually wouldn't base a video off of an internet meme, considering how fast I get dropped for the next hilarious thing, but I've been wanting to make something stupid again since my how many Cuphead bosses are edible video. Just let me have this. Anyways, to lay a couple of ground rules for the fight, none of the characters are allowed to bring any weapons with them, meaning that the only people that'll be able to beat the gorilla are ones with powers, because let's be real here, no regular human could kill a gorilla. I don't care if you're built like The Rock or Arnold Schwarzenegger or Buff Richard, that gorilla's gonna peel you open like the banana he'll eat to celebrate his victory. Alright, that's what we'll have to say for the intro. Now we can actually get started with the video and talk about the first people going up against a gorilla.
It's a Mario.
I'm putting Mario and Luigi in the same section because I have the exact same things to say about these two. Real quick though, I just want to point out that for Mario characters, I'm not going to count the fact that they can kill enemies by jumping on them as a testament of their strength, as I feel like it's meant to be more of a gameplay mechanic than proof of how strong Mario characters are. Originally, I was going to say that Mario and Luigi wouldn't be able to beat a gorilla. I mean, come on, these guys are just 40-year-old plumbers. Without power-ups, there's nothing super about these Mario bros. However, then I remembered something. In Super Mario 64 and 64 DS, Mario and Luigi are able to grab Bowser by the tail, spin him around, and throw him. I know that I said that not even The Rock is strong enough to beat a gorilla, but I don't think that The Rock is strong enough to do what Mario and Luigi do to Bowser. This is a truly terrifying showcase of strength. So, I'm gonna say that Mario and Luigi can in fact beat a gorilla. Donkey Kong can absolutely beat a gorilla. He's literally just a smarter and stronger member of the species. Not only that, but in a trailer for Bonanza, Donkey Kong is shown destroying the ground. If he can do that, he should have no problem with a gorilla.
Sorry, Link. I can't give credit.
In no way is Link gonna beat a gorilla. He's just a guy.
Watch me shoot my secret cannon!
At the start of the video, I said that no characters can bring any weapons to this fight. However, Samus's arm cannon is a part of her suit, so I'll say that she could use it to defeat the gorilla. And the same thing goes for Dark Samus. Yoshi's whole thing is that he can eat things and turn them into eggs. In Smash, he can eat big characters like Bowser, but in the actual games he's from, which is what I'm using as evidence to see if characters can beat a gorilla in case you haven't noticed, he only eats small enemies and fruits, so Yoshi wouldn't be able to beat a gorilla. In Kirby and the Forgotten Lands, Kirby swallows an entire truck in order to stop an evil monster from making two planets crash into each other. If Kirby can inhale a truck, he should have no problem inhaling a gorilla. I do not think any of the Star Fox characters could beat a gorilla. They're pretty much just humans at the end of the day. Has anybody ever thought about how scary Pokemon would be if they were real? Imagine going on a walk and running into a small electric mouse that can strike you with hundreds of lightning bolts if it really wanted to. I don't know about you, but I think that'll hurt. Anyways, yeah, Pikachu can beat a gorilla. The poor guy's gonna get Ratatouille 100 times in a row.
Undertale is a continuation of Toby's version of Earthbound.
Ness is like 9 years old. If the gorilla can't beat him, it might actually be time for him to retire.
Captain Underpants? Is that really you?
I was going to say that Captain Falcon would be able to beat a gorilla since he has the Falcon Punch, but apparently the punch is only used in Smash Bros. And the anime, but not the actual F-Zero games, meaning that I can't use it as evidence to show how Captain Falcon could beat a gorilla. So, since that's the case, I'm going to say that he'll lose this fight. Jigglypuff has the power to make anyone fall asleep so that they can beat the crap out of them. No running is gonna save this gorilla from Jigglypuff.
What is up, guys? Zach Scott here.
Like Mario and Luigi, I'm combining Peach and Daisy into one section since they're right next to each other on a roster, and also neither are surviving because again, they're just humans. The gorilla is single-handedly gonna crumble 2 empires.
King of the Koopas, Bowser!
Not only is Bowser probably much stronger than a gorilla, he can also shoot fire. What is a gorilla gonna do when Bowser sets him on fire? Stop, drop, and roll? He doesn't know what that is. He's a gorilla. It's so over for this guy.
And tease for twins!
It doesn't matter that the gorilla has 2 people to fight his time. They're still like 5 years old. They don't stand a chance. They're just humans, so they're not surviving.
No, I've got to go to my Dr. Monster's appointment with Dr. Monster.
Out of all the characters to be added in this game, Dr. Mario's inclusion confuses me the most. Like, out of all the iconic characters Nintendo has that they can put in a crossover fighting game, why would they pick Dr. Mario? They could have added someone cool like Gengar instead. That's been a dream inclusion of mine since like 2nd grade. Since Smash counts him as a separate character, I will too, meaning that I won't take regular Mario's terrifying strength into account for this. And yeah, as you probably could have guessed, Dr. Mario wouldn't be able to beat a gorilla. No amount of PhDs are enough to stop a gorilla from pounding your face in. I know from experience. Pichu probably has the power to defeat a gorilla, but I think they're too stupid and clumsy to use it properly. He's a literal baby, and the moves he can learn without a TM aren't exactly great. The gorilla's gonna give Pichu a knuckle sandwich that'll send him flying halfway across the world before he has a chance to use Nuzzle.
Who even are you? Who do you think you are?
This is the first character on the list that comes from a franchise I know absolutely nothing about, that being Fire Emblem, so time to hop on the Fire Emblem wiki and read some Marf lore. Yeah, Marf is just a human. The gorilla's gonna win this one.
We're going back in time to the first Thanksgiving.
So apparently Lucina is a time traveler, meaning that she can travel back in time and stop the gorilla from even being born. If Link can't be a gorilla, then neither can the young Sheldon version of him.
Or else you will die.
I mean, just look at this guy. Not only is Ganondorf powerful enough to kill the gorilla, but the gorilla is probably going to be vulnerable due to being in sheer shock from all the aura surrounding Ganondorf. Mewtwo can learn Earthquake. What is the gorilla gonna do when this freak summons an Earthquake and proceeds to shoot psychic beams?
Who even are you? Who do you think you are?
Like Marv, Roy and Chrom are just humans, so they're gonna die.
Who's been here since day one?
Mr. Game & Watch doesn't look special, but I think he can beat a gorilla. He's the only character in Smash that's actually 2D. Do you know how confused a gorilla would be if it had to fight a two-dimensional person? Like, how would you even hit someone if they can become invisible if they're at a certain angle?
They fly now!
They fly now!
While Meta Knight can't inhale like Kirby, he does have the ability to fly, meaning that he can attack the gorilla from above. Meta Knight would beat a gorilla.
It's my IP to sit on and do nothing with.
Pit and Dark Pit can not only fly like Meta Knight, but they're also both angels, and I don't think a gorilla is able to kill an angel, so he's losing this fight. I was fully ready to say that Zero Suit Samus can beat a gorilla, but then I decided to hop on the Metroid wiki, and as it turns out, she actually can. Samus has been infused with Chozo DNA, which does something I guess, because apparently she's incredibly strong, being able to throw large creatures around. So yeah, Zero Suit Samus can actually beat a gorilla. Like Mario and Luigi, Wario can also throw Bowser in 64 DS, meaning that he can beat a gorilla. But come on, look at him, you already knew that. Okay, I don't know a lot about Metal Gear or Solid Snake, so I got on the Snake wiki page like I've been doing for every character I'm unfamiliar with, and the first thing I see is that Snake's real name is David. I just can't escape Jackie's Box, I swear. Ever since I listened to that song, I haven't seen the names David and Edwin a lot more. Anyways, apparently Snake has been genetically engineered to be strong, fast, resilient, and smart, so I think that he'll be able to beat the gorilla.
Who even are you? Who do you think you are?
Ike is yet another human, so he's losing the fight. Since the Pokeballs are technically accessories to the Pokemon trainer, I'm gonna say that he can't bring them to the fight, and if he can't bring Pokeballs to the fight, he is not gonna win. When the gorilla and Diddy Kong meet, there are two possible outcomes. Either A, the gorilla recognizes Diddy as a child member of his species, decides to take pity and adopt him, or 2, the gorilla beats the absolute crap out of Diddy Kong. Unfortunately, the world is a cruel and dark place. We know this because everybody went to Switch exists, and the likelihood of option 2 happening is much higher than option A, so I'm gonna say that Diddy can't beat a gorilla.
And you need a Gen Alpha translator?
He's just a child, and again, children can't beat gorillas.
Wow, look! Green Hill!
Sonic might not be as strong as a gorilla, but that doesn't really matter thanks to his speed. Sonic can just run to the gorilla, land a few punches, run back before the gorilla can attack, and then repeat that until the gorilla is defeated. Pretty much, Sonic can win by using guerrilla warfare. I said guerrilla warfare!
You're the king! I'm the king!
King DDD looks like he could defeat a gorilla thanks to his size, but he only looks like that because he just can't stop eating. This guy is made of fat, not muscle, so he won't be able to beat the gorilla. If Voldemort had some Pikmin, he would be able to defeat the gorilla, but unfortunately he doesn't, and he's absolutely losing.
A brawl is surely brewing.
Like all the other Pokemon except Pichu, Lucario can absolutely beat a gorilla, especially since he's a fighting type.
Robot deactivated.
Rob is kind of just a silly little robot. I do not think he'll be able to beat a gorilla. Okay, why does this game have 3 links? Was there really a need for 3 links? I've only played the Breath of the Wild trilogy, I guess is what it's called, but surely there's a lot of Zelda characters that would be better additions than Link number 3. Or even better, they could have added Gengar instead. Anyways, much like the other links, 2 links does not stand a chance against a gorilla.
Villager news.
Imagine for a second you live your life amongst human-like animals. They're your neighbors, they're your friends, except for the capitalist one. Every day, you give each other gifts and have a good time on an island. Then you run into this thing and they proceed to knock your block off. Imagine the horror, imagine the betrayal, I would cry. Well actually, I'd be dead, and dead people are famously incapable of crying, but you get the point. Like Samus, Mega Man has a hand cannon as part of his suit, so he can use it to kill the gorilla. Unlike Dr. Mario and Toon Link, I actually like the inclusion of Wii Fit Trainer. While the other two just feel unnecessary since Dr. Mario is Dr. Mario and there's already 2 links, the inclusion of the Wii Fit Trainer of all people is just kind of funny. Anyways, no kind of trainer is strong enough to beat a gorilla, let alone a Wii Fit Trainer. I'm sorry, but you are not going to gather the strength to beat a gorilla using Wii Fit. I was considering saying that Rosalina could defeat a gorilla thanks to her spin move, but now that I think about it, I don't think spinning is going to stop a big 300-pound ape from killing you.
It's my IP to sit on and do nothing with.
You might be thinking that Little Mac can't beat a gorilla since he's just a normal human boxer. That's what I thought too. However, Little Mac actually can beat a gorilla because in Punch-Out Wii, one of the characters you can fight is Donkey Kong. If Donkey Kong can beat a gorilla and Little Mac can beat Donkey Kong, then Little Mac can beat a gorilla. I remember thinking Greninja was the coolest Pokemon ever thanks to Ash Greninja, but now I've matured and realized that the coolest Pokemon ever is actually Gengar. Greninja's still pretty cool though, and he's able to beat the gorilla for obvious reasons.
Hello everyone! welcome back to the Derp channel.
The Mii Fighter is meant to represent the player, which means that I must ask the question, can I beat a gorilla? Palutena is a goddess of light, and she can summon a giant beam of light that can disintegrate people, so Gorilla's not gonna win this one. Like Kirby and Yoshi, Pac-Man's ability revolves around eating things, but instead of eating pretty much anything, he only eats pellets. He does not stand a chance against a gorilla.
No longer a sidekick, no that's not me.
So apparently Ramen can use tomes, which are like magic abilities, so I'll say that he can beat a gorilla using them. Shulk is a human, so the gorilla is winning this one.
Nintendo Switch, parental controls.
Bowser Jr. looks like he'd get his face smashed in by a gorilla, but much like his father, he can shoot fire, meaning that he can absolutely win his fight.
I'm a talking crow-like thing.
These two are just a duck and a dog, and no amount of barking is gonna stop a gorilla. Ryu has all kinds of powers, like being able to blast energy at an opponent, meaning that the gorilla is gonna die.
The flames of disaster!
Ken can engulf his fist in flames, so he's gonna win this fight.
You know where we are? I need help.
I'm looking at Cloud's wiki for the first time, and the first thing I see is that this guy's a terrorist. What?
Try to blow me up with a bomb? Is that a terrorist?
Cloud was infused with the genetic code of an alien and energy from the life stream, which sounds important, so I'll say that he can beat a gorilla.
Who even are you? Who do you think you are?
Alright, who on the Smash team is a massive Fire Emblem fan? Corrin is like the 7th character from this franchise to be added. Pokemon also has a lot of characters, but that's like the biggest franchise of all time. It makes sense why there be so much characters from it. But why are there so many Fire Emblem characters? I thought Corrin was a human, but as it turns out, I was wrong because they're actually half dragon and are able to turn into certain parts of a dragon. Can somebody please explain to me what Fire Emblem is about? Anyways, yeah, Corrin can beat the gorilla.
Which hand of the witch hand will it be?
Bayonetta is a 500-year-old witch. I do not think the gorilla is gonna win this. An Inkling will not only lose to a gorilla, they will be terrified just by seeing it. In Splatoon, all mammals except the Judge and Freddy Fazbear have died, so the Inklings have no idea what a gorilla is. If I was told to fight this thing without even knowing what it was, I would cry.
Riddle me this.
I mean, yeah. Simon and Richter are human vampire hunters, so while they might be able to kill Dracula, they don't stand a chance against a gorilla. King K Rool is a big crocodile. He can literally just bite the gorilla and call it a day.
Was that the bite of it?
Obviously, Isabelle can't beat a gorilla.
I believe you promised my son a roar.
To the roar.
Obviously, Incineroar can beat a gorilla. Just looking at him is enough to tell that this Pokemon is like felonious Gru levels of despicable.
We should let it grow.
The Piranha Plant is just a plant with sharp teeth. This thing doesn't even have legs. The poor guy won't be able to run away when he sees the gorilla charging at him.
Why so serious?
Joker has a wildcard ability, allowing him to have multiple different personas, which are apparently the manifestation of a person's psyche, so yeah, I guess Joker could beat a gorilla. I don't exactly comprehend the persona lore, but it seems powerful.
6-time Herbarn got caught on camera.
Hero is from Dragon Quest, a franchise that has different heroes in every game, but from what I can gather, the Smash hero is meant to be the one from 11, so I'll use that for reference. Hero is a reincarnation of a legendary warrior called Erdwin. I really wasn't joking when I said that there's no escape from Jackie's box. Anyways, Hero is a normal human, he's losing this. Banjo is meant to be a bear, but clearly, he looks like a weak loser bear as opposed to the strong bears of the wild, so I don't think that he or Kazooie would be able to beat a gorilla. Terry can unleash a power wave by punching the ground, which is definitely enough to kill the gorilla.
It's Maui time!
Baylef is a demigod like Maui or whatever, so the gorilla won't be able to beat him. Remember arms? Neither do I. The retractable arms will give Min Min the advantage, since she's able to attack the gorilla from afar. It might take a while, but I think that she can beat the gorilla. The gorilla does not stand a chance against Steve. Not only is this guy strong enough to break wood with his hand, but he can also use the materials around him to create weapons or tools. Actually, Steve could go on an entire side quest for Diamond, and then come back to fight the gorilla in a full set of diamond armor. This guy is gonna die.
You said last week you were super into UFOs, right?
Like Cloud, Sephiroth has alien DNA in him, and he's also pretty strong, so he's gonna win this fight. I still remember exactly where I was the day Pyra and Mythra were announced to be coming into Smash. You might be asking why that is. Well, you see, this is just a really weird way to spell Gengar. All the DLC characters were disappointing to child me, except for Steve, Banjo, and Piranha Plant. I was not clapping and cheering when they announced Terry Fatal Fury, and you know what? I'm still not. I don't care about this guy. When Pyra and Mythra were announced though, I think that's when I fully realized that they weren't gonna add anyone else I actually cared about, which was devastating. Like, why were these two deemed important enough for a slot when Gengar exists? Actually, speaking of Pokemon and being important enough for a slot, why did they add Pichu? Out of all the Pokemon they could add, they choose a baby version of a Pokemon already in the game. This could have been Gengar! This isn't fair. I need someone to blame! Yeah, that'll do. Anyways, back to the actual topic of the video, Pyra and Mythra are apparently the human personifications of a blade, which I guess just makes them humans, meaning that the gorilla would kill them. You know what? Good. Let's get Gengar as a replacement.
The devil!
Kazuya is a demon who can absorb souls, so obvious win.
Did somebody mention the door to darkness?
Finally is Sora from Kingdom Hearts, another franchise I know nothing about, except for the fact that Disney characters are in it and that it's really funny.
It can't be happening. It can't.
They'll pay for this.
This is going to be a pretty anticlimactic end to the video though, because while Sora does have magic powers, from what I can gather, he gets them all from his Keyblade. However, since he can't bring it to this fight, Sora has no chance of winning.
Hey guys, it's me, Flying Gorilla, from my new app on the App Store, Flying Gorilla.
Okay, I finally finished talking about which Smash characters could beat a gorilla. Now, I'm going to list them all in case you forgot. Mario, Luigi, Donkey Kong, Samus, Dark Samus, Kirby, Pikachu, Jigglypuff, Bowser, Lucina, Ganondorf, Mewtwo, Mr. Game & Watch, Meta Knight, Pit, Dark Pit, Zero Suit Samus, Wario, Snake, Sonic, Lucario, Mega Man, Little Mac, Greninja, Palutena, Robin, Bowser Jr., Ryu, Ken, Cloud, Corrin, Bayonetta, Ridley, King K. Rool, Incineroar, Joker, Terry, Bailiff, Min, Steve, Sephiroth, and finally, Kazuya. Well, this video was pointless. I don't really have anything else to say here, so if you'll excuse me, I've decided to go ahead and try my luck against a gorilla. After all, what's the worst that can happen? Bye, I guess.